Welcome to The Crunch with Crib. I'm Jess, and each episode I'll be talking with some of WA's best real estate agents and business people to find out what makes them tick and what lessons they've learned on their journey to success. In a time when people are tightening their belt and are hesitant to take on rookie agents, Cara De Buelle and Glen Newland of professional Sterling Clark are bucking the trend and throwing everything they have into developing their staff. Known for producing some of the state's best rookies, we got their take on what makes a great culture and how to develop great agents. All right, we're on. Thank you guys, Glen and Cara, for coming in today. Thanks so much. We've just, as always, had a great cracking conversation before hitting record. So we'll get stuck straight into it. First question that I ask everyone, which is what we were just having a little bit of a chat about, is how you guys started your careers in real estate. Both of you started pretty young. So, Cara, if you want to kick us off.
I started in a PA role for a high-performing sales rep, and I worked for that agent for 6 years. Got some really good experience on sale to settlement and negotiation and the admin side of sales, which was really good. And after that, quite honestly, I didn't want to work nights and weekends so much anymore. And I took more of an administration management role, building teams and the kind of the office side, running an office, and I really enjoyed that. And from there, about 9 years into my real estate journey, I decided that business ownership was next for me. And yeah, here we are.
Wow, I took the plunge.
Yeah.
Excellent. We'll come back to the business ownership. Glen, do you want to just quickly give us a rundown on where you came from?
So me and Cara are pretty opposite personalities.
Yeah.
I came in as a salesperson. I think I was a bit of I'm not going to say natural born salesperson, but I was just good with people, quite a good talker. I was working retail jobs before I got into this, which were pretty boring. And then I bought my first house, made some money on that because I bought it in the boom. Mm-hmm. Thought, this would be a good thing to get into. And had an opportunity with my father-in-law at the time to get in because he was a real estate agent. So I started up with him. We were a team together. That was in 2008. And we built quite a high-performing team for Century 21 and then the professionals when we moved over there. And then once he kind of got a bit long in the tooth and decided he was going to get out of it, I had an opportunity to purchase the office Sterling Clark, which I was working at. Me and Cara sort of met by chance, had conversations about our aspirations, and then from there rolled on to where we are now, which has been an amazing journey.
So, Cara, were you at Sterling Clark? Is that how you guys met, or?
No, so I worked for another professionals office, and I've been with professionals my real estate career, and so I kind of learnt that business and Sterling Clark and where I previously worked, which was Granger Clark, were like sister offices. So it was kind of a really smooth transition to go from one to the other.
Yeah, right. Was the other office you were in Hill's office? You got Sterling Clark's kind of foothills of Perth?
Sterling Clark is the foothills, but Cara wasn't. She was a way away.
Yeah, more so towards the coast, but very similar demographic market. It's quite high turnover. Very, very similar sales teams in the size and the demographics of the office. Yeah.
So tell me about the transition from, I guess, managing a team to owning a business, because it is a fair leap.
Yeah. I think we were, really excited.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt like it was the right time for us to do that. And I've kind of relate my previous experience to, I call it my 10-year-long traineeship, which was learning, everything that I needed to know that I thought was going to prepare me for this big leap. It didn't. You think you're ready, and you're never really ready for that. So we've learnt a lot.
Yeah.
It's been an incredible couple of years.
How long has it been now?
Coming up 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are we the people that kind of started that.
Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You get swiftly knocked into reality when, you suddenly are responsible for, 35 staff and making sure that the ship still runs. And I guess there's a little bit of pressure there, good pressure, but it can be overwhelming to think that this is a very, long-standing, successful business.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not wreck it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we're figuring it out.
What are some of the bigger challenges that you've faced over the last couple of years? Maybe things you weren't anticipating or didn't think about when you took the plunge?
I mean, outside of probably the Perth market over the last 4 years, I mean, that's an obvious one.
Yeah.
In hindsight, do you buy a big business in what is going to be a declining market for 4 years? If you knew that, you'd say, maybe we'd wait, maybe we'd buy it now. But look, it's been a really good platform for us to just do our apprenticeship. We're 4 years in now, so I feel like we've done the apprenticeship. We know what we need to do. But, yeah, the major challenges for both of us is probably just having to deal with not only clients on such an emotional level when you're selling their houses and dealing with them, but all the staff as well. Like every staff member in there is a human being, and they come with, their own perks, but their own challenges as well. Mm-hmm. So it's that emotional side of things, because at Sterling Clark, we've really worked on a culture. That was the number one thing we wanted. But along with culture comes friendships, and, you're taking everyone else's baggage on board as well.
Yeah.
So when a staff member has got something happening in their life, you take it on board yourself as well, and you try and find solutions. And, that was one of those things that I suppose you just can't ever really be prepared for until you do it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's formed in that office is just this amazing team, which, we love. We love going to work. So that's cool.
Yeah.
We had a lot of challenges, particularly in the sales department, between like our first kind of 12 months to 2 years. We had a couple of reps retire, and we had one sadly pass away. Couple go to different agencies, and our model, the model of that business, has always been to have a really big sales team, and trying to recruit new people and make sure that they have a really good start and that they're well supported in a declining market. It's been huge, but the family and having that support and things like that is really special.
Yeah. I want to come back to your recruitment, but you mentioned culture a couple of times there, and it is something that I wanted to talk to you about, because you guys obviously have a really successful office, and it was a really successful office prior to you buying into it, but you've maintained that success. So I want to know about the company culture and what you've cultivated there, and what you think, what is driving that success, why you have been so successful.
Yes.
Yeah, double-ended question, sorry.
That's all right. When we've had reps who have left or retired or moved on for whatever reason, we knew we needed to get new people. Mm-hmm. Obviously, changes to real estate now means that you can't just take anyone and just put them in a commission-only position. Mm-hmm. So we've been really selective with who we've taken on to replace the people that are there. So if you don't have any sales experience as such, it hasn't been a big thing for us. Like I suppose what we learned fairly quickly by weeding out some of the people in the office that probably didn't fit the culture that we wanted to grow was that we were just going to recruit just on attitude more than anything.
Yeah.
If people came with the right attitude, we knew that we could work with them. You can learn sales, you can learn how to process files and write deals. That's just kind of standard stuff. But you can't teach attitude to people. So that's all we focused on.
How do you, when you first meet someone, pick their attitude?
You can just tell.
Yeah.
Though. I mean, like you don't get it right all the time.
Yeah.
But, if you're looking for the characteristics in a person that is going to make them a good sales agent, what's their follow-up like? Like, do they really want to do it? Because if you don't really, really want to do it, then, you won't last 5 minutes. Are you a genuinely nice person? Like, are you quite pleasant to deal with? And, can you tell that from your first kind of conversation with someone? I think you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you define your culture in that office?
It's unique.
Yeah, it's unique. Look, I would say what we've got in there, because typically in a lot of sales offices, the ones that I've been involved in, which honestly is only the two of them, but I do know a lot of other real estate agents as well. And I suppose it's always been a bit of a dog-eat-dog industry. And especially even within offices, there's, there has been that sort of, you don't really share with other people as much.
Yeah, it's very competitive.
It is. It's such a competitive thing when you're a commissioned salesperson. So that's where we've tried to change it.
Yeah.
We've worked so hard on, hey, if you list a property, it's almost like an office listing.
Yeah.
We share and we caravan everyone's stock. There's no oh no, it's mine and I don't want your buyer coming through and I don't want a conjunct. Like that's just not tolerated.
Yeah.
If one wins, we all win.
Yeah.
And it's not normal for a sales department to be like that.
Yeah. It's funny, we had Sean and Jenny Hughes from Real Mart Coastal in here, and they have a really high-performing team, and with exactly that same attitude of they do their caravanning together. It's a strong team where they all support each other and they're all very open. So it seems to be, obviously it works in that regard.
And we've had to move people on who are high-performing salespeople.
Yeah.
But they didn't fit the culture.
Yeah.
And we knew they were upsetting, the apple cart. We've had other really high-performing agents come to us and ask us for positions as well. And these are people that if you look at your sales board, they're going to have a huge impact every month. But we've just had to, pass them up.
Yeah.
Just because that person, where they've come from. They might have moved 3 or 4 times in the last 6 years. So there's obviously a challenge with that person. So you've got to just pass them up.
Yeah.
It hurts you on the bottom line.
Yeah.
But it's part of what we're trying to build. You bring in one bad apple into the bunch, and then what happens is you lose a few good ones.
Yeah.
Because they say, well, hang on, this is not the culture which I want to be in.
Yeah.
So they leave. So we've just had to make that decision. And I suppose at great expense because, like any office right now, sales don't come freely and easily. So if a $1 million writer comes and says, hey, can I join your team? You really want to say yes, but you can't.
Yeah. Is that something that you've learned? Is that something, like, you guys are both pretty young and to be in the position that you're in. So is that something that you started off with thinking about when you first bought the business, or have you learned it, and then how do you stick to that? I guess?
It's very simple. Like, we both have I guess, better things to be doing than putting out fires all the time.
Yeah.
And if we're being reactive to, this person's got a problem with this person, or that person stole my lead, or whatever it is, that's not productive for anyone. And that's not what I want to be doing every day. That's not what Glen wants to be doing every day. So we were pretty clear from the beginning. Did we, know what we were doing as far as, taking on a new business? Well, not really, but we knew what we wanted our day-to-day to look like, and what we wanted to spend our time doing, and we wanted to be kicking goals, not putting out fires. And so if you can kind of get that clear vision and express that to everybody, that this is what we're aiming for. Like, we want everyone to come in and have a really good time working here and really get along and, help each other out and just have some joy along the way, rather than it being a grind all the time.
Yeah.
So we were pretty clear on that right from the beginning. And sometimes you lose sight of it. Like, sometimes you're thinking, like, this is hard, or,
it's a down market.
And maybe we should have, taken on that person to help that or whatever. But if you're really true to the person that you want to be, then a lot of those decisions make themselves, because it's just whether or not that fits with what you signed up for.
Yeah.
And we know that comes from the top, that comes from us.
Yeah.
And it probably goes back to the very start as well, where I had opportunities to buy the business with other people before I had the conversations with Cara, but I just kind of knew that the fit was never going to be right.
Yeah.
Like our characteristics weren't going to work. And I suppose when I met Cara and Josh as well, I just knew, the two of them, that these are people I want to be in business with. These are people that I'll trust and will have my back through the whole thing. And that was a decision we both made when we met each other and went into business. And I suppose that's the decision we make all the time when we hire new people. It's like, who's going to be with us through thick and thin here? Because it's a thin market right now. It's like, it's so, you want all those people that are, I don't know, kind of showing their loyalty and sort of remaining with us and, doing the hard yards with us. They're the people that we say, hey, when this thing takes off again, and we want to grow bigger and do more things and expand, then, these are the people that we've got to work with. And we know we're going to reward them with the people that we've got in our office now who are still performing well. They're all ambitious people, They don't want to be sales reps forever, not all of them. So we've got, we're growing the next crop of business owners, I suppose, for professionals as well.
Yeah. What's your process like when you take a rookie on in the office? Because you've had some really successful rookies. Obviously, Michael, we spoke to him earlier in the year, was Rookie of the Year last year. So what's the process like in taking someone that has no real estate experience and turning them into superstars?
Well, I think, firstly, we can't discredit it's them. It's
Yes.
100% them. I don't know that it's so much the process. If you have the right person, they're going to make it. But we try to just make sure that those pain points for rookies, excuse me, or people getting into the industry are just kind of made that little bit easier. That kind of the dropout rate is so high. And what are the reasons for that? It can be really lonely when you're trying to get started and you just don't know if what you're doing is the right thing or, can I keep going? It's like a constant reassurance, I guess, and just handling their the emotional roller coaster because it's and I think every rookie not even rookie, every person, even us, some days it's like, wow, I don't know what I'm doing here. This is tough. And so having that support there for them and just reassurance, it's like, okay, you know what, you lost that deal, or you went out prospecting and you had the door slammed in your face 50 times. Okay, what are we going to do tomorrow? Just kind of keeping them on track and just making sure that they're really well supported and that they have what they need to get the result.
Yeah.
And speaking to other business owners, I know that good business owners out there are doing the same thing as what we're doing right now, is that you are aware that with limited sales coming, you are literally just going to have to give up, your own income so that your rookies can make it through right now. I know there'll be business owners out there who say, well, I've got to make sure that I survive and I make it. And that's, of course, we all have to. But if you're going to bring on new people, and especially if you're going to have to sort of pay them as well, you've got a real obligation to that person to give them every opportunity to get through, which means just giving them leads, giving them listings, giving them ones that hey, this is going to be a bit of a plum and they're going to be able to get this under their belt. They're going to get some good experience and some good confidence. And just, there's so much more than to just giving someone a desk and a file and saying, here you go, door knocking now. It's a lot of time and money invested into rookies. And that's why we're really, I suppose, selective now about who we bring on as well. Yeah. Because that is a big investment from us. It's not just a money investment. It is so much time.
And
So
is it a conscious thing for you guys to continue doing that though? Because lots of business people and owners and, principals and whatever at this time in this market with the award and the minimum wage would just say, well, I'm not going to bring on any rookies now. I'm only going to bring on.
Understandable from a business point of view. That's a challenge, 100%. Yeah. But where is the future of the industry if we're not doing that? Yeah. Where is the marketplace going to get their professional advice from if we're not creating that, for the next 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, whatever it is. Yeah. So I think it's a duty of ours to make sure that the, next generation, the us's of 10 years ago, are going to make it.
Yeah, have the opportunity and the support.
Yeah.
That probably leads us on to your other project, I guess, the Property Performance Stars, which I wanted to ask you guys about because it's something that I've seen pop up a little bit on social media, and I know you guys are doing a podcast. So I just wanted to, ask about what it's all about, what led you to do it and where it's going.
It's a huge passion project of ours. It's kind of just starting to, get out there. It's been there for a long time for us. Just, the model that we've been working on, bringing people into our business, both in sales and property management and also administration, and kind of harnessing that and sharing the story of what we did what our plans are, and if you really are passionate about the industry and being a part of that in the future, then kind of jump on board, and hopefully there's an avenue for you to be able to learn and get the training and the support that you need.
Awesome.
And I suppose getting into real estate at the start as well, I'm a bit of a people person.
Yeah.
And Cara is too. And so the idea of Performance Stars was that we could actually just give back and help people. And before we bought the business, I sort of had rookies that I worked with as well, and they've grown into top performing agents now.
Yeah.
And now Cara and I are doing that with our office, and our rookies are coming up. But we're so honest with our rookies on what they need to do to get in. And I suppose that's one of the things which people, you watch $1 Million Listing and you think, it's all going to be Hollywood.
BMWs and Range Rovers and
just making sure that everyone was aware of what is expected of this industry now if you are going to be a high performing agent. And I've had a few of my mates join the industry and have done really well, but they knew exactly what was going to be involved, and that's, I suppose, if we can get that message out to all the people up and coming, the ones who maybe within themselves know that they don't have the passion for it, won't get into it and waste 6 months of their life. But those people who are passionate about it, which are the people I think we're digging up now, can give it a crack and be successful.
What do you outline to them? We were talking, obviously, before we started recording about the property, the $1 Million Listing and the block, and how real estate is becoming a little more glamorous. Whereas maybe, when we were coming through school, it wasn't really a career that people talked about or was offered as something that was really attractive. And often it's a second career for people. So what are some of the things that you guys outline, is going to be required in that first year or 2 or 3?
We definitely talk a lot about, I guess, when we were earning our stripes, I guess, and what was required of us, because I guess it's expected that if you're going to become a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, that you're going to go and do a tertiary education, you're going to study really hard, and then you're going to be an intern or whatever it is. And real estate, from a training point of view, to actually get registered, you can do that in 2 weeks. So you get your ticket and, okay, great, you can go sell houses, but are you prepared to be dealing with someone's biggest asset? So no, that takes years to, like anything, to master your craft. So I guess explaining that to people that, for those 6 to 10 years that you are standing in home opens and qualifying buyers and negotiating deals, or on the property management side, even that is becoming more and more negotiation, and less, I guess, admin based. So explaining that journey, that yes, you are going to be working nights and weekends. How is your family feeling about that? What are you going to be sacrificing? Because there to be successful, there is sacrifice, and just kind of really trying to get that point across, that you do have to invest back in yourself for training, and it's not just going to work 9 to 5. If you're not putting back into yourself the qualities and all the extras, then how can you expect to be at that level at any point?
And we ran an in-house training session on it yesterday on basically handling rejection. Because it's such a huge part of this job.
Yes.
And, our first 4 years of real estate, I pretty much did nothing but knock on doors. And I think when I say that to people, they don't actually believe that I did it.
No, they don't.
They think, oh, yeah, you say that, but maybe you didn't, maybe you did a year. But it's not. It was just solid database building for 4 years and getting my name out there. And that's my apprenticeship. That is my university degree that I did right there. And if you do that, then you get yourself to a position where you can earn the same as your doctor or your lawyer, But those people that watch $1 Million Listing and think, oh, you beauty, I'll just buy a nice car and a nice suit and I'll jump straight in and do it. They learn really quick. They get, we find out pretty quick who those people are.
And I guess just having that conversation from the beginning, are you prepared to knock on doors for 4 years? Because if you're not, then this is just not for you.
I think there's maybe a lot of business owners or people like yourselves who aren't, as responsible in giving that message, maybe. I had someone contact me the other day who wanted me to run Facebook ads for him. He'd been in the industry for 6 weeks and he said, I need you to generate me leads. And I said, I'm not taking your money. I'm just not, because you need to get on the phone. I feel like there's not everyone's as responsible as you guys in putting that message out and,
Yeah, I can imagine there would be so many people who would come into the industry as well, but maybe they could be a superstar, but they just don't get the support.
Yeah, the training
that they needed, because up until the industry changed the way we've got to pay people, then you could just put someone in a seat, and if they made it, they made it, and if they didn't, they didn't. Didn't, as a business owner, it didn't make that much difference to if they did or they didn't. But now I feel like business owners are forced to be responsible.
It's a good thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They really have to make sure that if you're bringing someone in, you're 100% accountable for that person.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that they are doing the right things, and you need to be managing them really well, which is what we try to do in the office as well.
How do you guys differentiate yourself from your competitors, either both your competitors, I guess, in the real estate game, in sales and PM, but also when you are recruiting good salespeople or rookies? What are those?
I love this question. I make a point, and I guess the beginning of my career, networking wasn't a huge part of that for me. Glen did a lot of networking, still does, talks to a lot of other agents, talks to a lot of other business owners. I kind of live in a little bit of a bubble where I don't get out much, and it is the best thing ever, because I make a point of not comparing myself to other agencies. And people say, what are you doing different to other agencies? I'd have absolutely no idea. I don't work in another office to know how they run. I know we're different, but all I focus on is what is going on in my four walls. Yeah. And if my people are happy, and if we're doing deals and gaining new managements and keeping the clients happy and having joy in that experience, then the competition really, great, good luck to them.
Yeah.
I wish the same. But what we're doing versus what they're doing, it's not what it's about for us.
Yeah. How do you guys split your roles? It sounds like, obviously, Glen, you're selling, whereas Cara, you're very much more internally focused. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was really easy for us, I guess, because we have totally different strengths. Yeah. So Glen, he has a gift with selling, sales. He's just master salesperson, no question. I don't. I haven't sold as many properties as he has. I don't have the experience that he does. I get it on a theoretical level. I have done it, but it's definitely not my strength like it is his. I'm very, systemized. The process is really what gets me excited, and making that process really efficient and enjoyable for all parties, agents included, or property managers included. So I guess it was easy because Glen was always going to be the person that was responsible for sales, and I guess my management role is more about putting the right people in the right places to get the right result.
Yeah. Have you guys? Sorry, Glen.
No, it's all right. I was fortunate enough with Cara as well, because my personality is not a bad cop. I don't play that role very well.
Yeah.
And look,
I do.
And I suppose when you're going to be running an office, I'm more inclined to sort of just, want to be friends with everyone. And I suppose that's what's made me successful in sales. So don't really lose my cool too much or anything like that. I'm not saying you do, Cara,
a little bit.
But obviously there's times when you need a bit more of a heavy hand on things just to get things done.
Yeah.
It's just not a natural role for me.
Yeah.
So I knew that was never going to be a strength of mine if I was a business owner.
Yeah.
But when it comes to recruiting, getting people, the right people into the business, I thought I could do that fairly well, which I think we've recruited quite well, gone and dug up good people, and still just, I suppose, I've never been driven by money either. So the idea of giving away leads to rookies just to get them started, it's like, hey, we know it's a long-term investment in the business to make sure these people are successful.
Yeah.
I feel that my role in the business and Cara's are so polar opposite, but it just couldn't work if it was any other way.
Yeah.
Like if we're the same personality, I don't think it would have the same sort of effect in the office.
We don't really overlap or clash in any. If I need to consult with Glen or handball to Glen or vice versa, then it's pretty clear like what areas or what problems go to who.
Yeah. If it's anything to do with paperwork, then just, might as well give it to reception if Cara's not here.
Do you have big plans for the business?
Yeah, of course.
When the market finally turns?
Yeah, well, even if it doesn't turn, I suppose.
Yeah. It really, it makes everyone's life easier, that's for sure. It comes with its own challenges, change is inevitable. But yeah, of course, I think this was just never going to be, okay, we'll just buy this office and in 30 years we'll retire and happy days. It was just really the beginning.
Yeah.
Just like a huge beginning, but it's only the start.
Yeah.
Can I ask, you mentioned earlier on that you were always going to be focused on being a sales office rather than a PM office, which is different to, a lot of the, I guess, advice going around in the market at the moment is that PM is, your bread and butter. Is that still your focus or?
The business, when we took over, it had always been a predominantly sales office.
Yeah.
Still had a sizable rent roll, and thank goodness, because if not for that, then, it would have been really, really difficult.
Yeah.
So we're focused on building the rent roll, have been for a while now. So we've had some really good organic growth. I don't think I'll ever buy another rent roll ever.
Yeah.
But we have some real strength in business development and our property management team now, because that space has seen dramatic change as well over the last few years, and the upskilling required for property managers has been huge. And luckily for us, we have a really solid team. They're amazing. I don't know how they do what they do in honesty. The last few years we've had organic growth of over 250 properties, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So when we hit 500 properties, I said, that's great. Now I want to double it.
Yeah.
It's definitely the security of the business, and it's a huge part of what we do. And there's a really nice relationship now between sales and property management.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cross referrals going on. It's one team.
Yeah.
They all need to work together. So it's really not a sales versus PM office. They both have value, and they both have equal value. And kind of, I guess, balancing the two now is more important than ever. So it's just having a well-rounded business, I think, rather than a well-rounded sales or property management business. And there's some businesses that just focus on property management, and there are others that are sales only. And those, if you're good at one thing, then stick with that. We're just fortunate that we have a team of people that are good at everything. There's definitely more room for, we would love to expand into other areas as well. But later down the track, obviously.
Yeah, and I've got friends that have got offices as well, and they've been they have just been sales officers.
Yeah.
And you're looking now that they are acquiring rent rolls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just with the way it is now, even the top sales people in the state, if you're running a sales-only office, it's tough. It's really tough. Hence, so many offices closing their doors.
Yes.
So, thank God that's, Cara has really put all her effort into building that property management team in there as well.
Yeah.
Because they're a really well-oiled machine.
Are you looking
They're
at
a great group.
the same characteristics in your PM team that you'd look at for your salespeople?
Okay, it is a different beast altogether. The skill set, I do believe salespeople, the strength is more so in dealing with people and less so in the administration. We have sales admin support for that reason, and they're amazing. They're all qualified salespeople that work as administrators. So they're really well supported, whereas property management, you actually have to have both. So you do have to be good with people, not in a sense that you want to be everyone's friend, because obviously you do have to have a harshness about you that you're enforcing legislation, and that can be tricky. But you must be organised. You must be on the ball. Your processes, your procedures, your checklists have to be on point at all times. So getting that balance between good with people and clerical is, really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. My last question for you guys is, I guess, advice for people who are looking to get started in real estate from a couple of almost veterans, great recruiters.
I'm not old enough to be a veteran.
What qualifies for someone as a veteran? 10 plus years?
Oh, is it? Okay, well, I am a veteran.
You started young.
Yeah.
What's some advice you would?
Yeah, if for anyone who is coming to get into the industry right now, I mean, I'll answer the sales side, I suppose, and Cara can answer the PM side maybe. If you are thinking about getting into a sales career now, first and foremost, if you don't like people, I would say don't bother. I said because right now there is in the current market, there is so many more people that I suppose not only need to sell their house, but almost need life coaching as well.
Need a therapist.
There is a lot of people out there who are just in a really tough situation. So you've got to be so much more than a salesperson.
Yeah.
You've got to give them good, honest advice. And half the time, the honest advice that you're giving them is not going to benefit your pocket in any way. Quite often it is. If it's a single mum in a house and, she's thinking of selling, you say, well, you've always got to give them the advice. Like, well, if you can hold on to it because you might find it hard to get back into the marketplace. I mean, that's a tough thing to say for a commissioned salesperson who is not going to get paid for that deal. Or you might think about putting it to rental because you're not going to be able to cover your payments anyway if you sell the house. So you've got to be a people person. And coming along with that is that just be aware that you're probably not going to see any sort of sizable paycheck for a few years. You're going to get paid the award. Yeah. And if you can do better than the award in your first few years, you're doing really, really well. And we've got, rookies who have been around 3 years now and are doing okay, but, they're still not killing it. Whereas I think if it was a really good market, those rookies would be absolutely killing it right now. But I don't think there's many new agents in the industry right now who are absolutely killing it. They're just surviving. Yeah. Have some money behind you. You've really got to have some money, some sort of support. If you were just scraping by right now in your current job and thinking about making the change into real estate, you've really got to have a look at that. Be flexible with your time. Make sure that your family, if you've got a family, know exactly what you're going into. Yeah. It almost needs to be an interview with the agent looking at coming in and their partner as well, so that everyone's on the same board here. Because you are going to be doing late nights, you're going to be doing weekends, you're going to be doing really long hours. And if things aren't right at home, then they're never going to be right at work. Yeah. So, if your partner is unaware of the commitment you're about to take, then that's a tough one. So it sounds, it's not all negative. Like it sounds negative. I know that was a really
that was heavy.
Edit that 3 minutes. You can insert some of the positive stuff. You get to
eyes wide open though, Glenn.
Absolutely. And I suppose that's when we do an interview with someone, that's what we need people to know.
Yes.
But the upside of it is that, like, without sounding cheesy, real estate cheesy, like you literally get to help people change their lives. Like you help them make decisions and you send them down avenues that they didn't know existed, and you get to fix their problems for them in some respect.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's great. That's stuff I was never going to be able to do if I was working a retail job.
Yeah.
But, it comes with a big responsibility, which, you take home sometimes. You end up going home and, bounce stuff off your partner and say, oh, this situation came up, how can I fix this? And, it is a big responsibility. You're helping people with big decisions, but, you got to make sure you're leading them down the right path as well. And sometimes that doesn't even come, like what to do with those situations. You don't even learn until you're 3 or 4 or 5 years in.
Yeah.
Until you've been through it a few times.
Yeah, absolutely. Cara, anything to add?
Yeah, I think definitely kind of doing your research and being prepared and knowing what you're getting yourself into. And I think it's really important to, and I can't stress it enough, have the plan and the goal. And did I know at the beginning, like my first real estate job, like most people, I fell into it and I then fell in love with it. Did I know when I was 19 that I wanted to own a real estate office? No, not really. But a couple of years in, I 100% did. And it was like, okay, how can I make that happen? And what do I have to do? And the grind and the persistence. You must be so persistent. And then whether that's a sales role or a management role, you have to just keep going and kind of have that real drive. If you're kind of not self-motivated and driven by nature, this probably isn't the right career for you. And it's a career. This is not something that you do to just pay the bills and work 9 to 5. It is a lifestyle. It can be kind of real estate can be all-consuming. It's you do take it home with you. You live and breathe it. These are your people, whether that be your clients or your staff, and you need to know where you are going to fit in that. And I guess that's where our property performance stars stuff comes in, because we want to find the next sort of business owners. And because I know when we started, there's not a lot of people kind of. I was 29 when I started my business ownership journey. There's not many 29-year-olds doing that in our space. Mm-hmm. So it can be lonely. This industry can be lonely, and your friends are going out on the weekends, and you're just not. So just kind of being aware and on your path, and finding your circle of influence and I guess leaning on them to give you the support that you need. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. What a great way to end. This has been really, really interesting, guys. And I'm really looking forward to seeing, your office grow and flourish, and many more amazing rookies coming out of it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much for your time. Cheers. That's it for this episode. We'd love any feedback or guest suggestions, so hit me up on Instagram on Jess@Crib. And if you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe and be sure to tell a friend.